the Slate Podcast, episode 33, take 1, and Slate.
Three, two, one. Welcome to the Slate Podcast, where we talk about movies,
Wait,
music, and media.
Can you do it again without counting down?
Welcome to the Slate Podcast, where we talk about movies, music, and media. Sometimes. I'm Jeff, and I'm here with George and Dario. What's good,
What's
guys?
good?
We
out
here
here.
today. We are gathered here today to talk about possibly the best Spider-Man movie we've ever seen. Maybe the best movie of the year, I would say.
Ooh, tell them how you feel, Jeff.
Tell us how you really feel.
We're talking about The Little Mermaid, guys.
Yeah!
I did promise you guys a review of The Little Mermaid. Let me just say 7 out of 10, and I don't want to go back. All right.
7.2 out of 10.
There you go.
0.5
There's
out
the
of
Little
10.
Mermaid review.
That's
Okay,
it.
all right.
It was all right. Take your kids. Your black kids.
Take your kids.
Take your kids. Take your husbands. Your
Hey,
wives.
that's the review.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That's it. Take your
That's
kids.
it.
Take your kids.
Yeah, but if
no.
you really, what is it?
What's the actual movie that we're
What's
here
the-
today
yeah.
to see?
Today, we are going to talk about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I'm really excited to talk about this one because it's been 5 years that we've been waiting for this movie. And it was supposed to come out last year, but Sony decided to delay it. And thank God, because whatever they did, it worked. So let's jump right into it. Are we doing spoilers or spoiler free?
Yeah, I think you just go for spoilers.
Spoilers?
Yeah, it's been
Okay,
out for long
guys.
enough.
So give me your initial thoughts. What do you think?
I liked it.
Me too. We're such great reviewers.
Yeah.
Movies.
I think it was
know,
a really
right?
good movie.
Anyways,
Welcome to the Slate Podcast.
somebody else
thanks
should
for
start.
watching.
That's not me. I'm not the. You guys are bigger Spider-Man fans, so
Okay.
Would you say you're not a Spider-Man fan?
no, I would not say that.
you were quick to answer
Yeah,
that.
I am a Spider-Man fan. I have a Spider-Man costume.
You do,
Uh,
and it's not present
Here's
with
He
me.
a
does.
picture. Here's a
He
picture.
does.
He does.
Here's a
As a matter of
picture.
fact, I'm gonna drop a picture right here.
Hey.
That's our boy.
That's me.
Great movie. I exceeded some expectations of mine. Very well written. Very chaotic. I have ADD, and it was feeding that ADD all up in there.
Yeah.
Great music. It was great, man. It was a good. That's how you do a sequel. You expand on the ideas already presented in something. Because Into the Spider-Verse was already great. I love that movie, and then they take what's already established in that movie and they blow it up times 10.
Yeah.
And awesome.
Yeah, it's true. In a sequel, you're supposed to take what worked, do more of that, and then try something different. Like
Don't do bigger. Do better.
yeah. Although usually bigger is better. That's what I tell people.
Pause.
So.
Hey, yo.
Hey, I mean, hey, let's be realistic.
My boy.
But
Daddy,
yeah,
yo.
but it was a bigger movie. Like it was. If you got multiverse in the last movie, this was like more of that. And it was funnier. I would say it was funnier. The action was insane. Like you said, the most chaotic movie I've ever seen. The action is so insane that you can only do this in a cartoon, which they take advantage of the format that they are doing, which is fantastic.
Multiple formats. There's multiple formats in the same scene.
It did exceed my expectations just because I went into the movie kind of like not overhyping it because, everybody expect like this has to exceed what happened last time. I was like, you know what? I'm not expecting the world, so I'm just going to go in and hope for a good movie. It's usually what I do.
Daryl was the only one.
I know. You guys were all excited.
Me, Jeff, my family, my cousins, they're all like, this movie's going to be awesome.
I don't want to be negative, but I
We
was
were
like,
right.
you never know. It could suck.
I was sweating at the end of this movie. It was hot, and I was like, that was amazing.
Yeah, so it exceeded my expectations. The one thing that I'll say is that it was a lot funnier than I expected. This is what Marvel should be when they put
What they wish.
100,000
What
jokes.
The MCU.
Every joke worked in this movie. That's my biggest praise.
Can I take a little 2-second pause? My air just went off. I forgot to turn off my AC.
You go, Jeff.
Okay, so Dario, I promise I'm not gonna take long. This is not a monologue, but let me just say
He's
this.
about to do his speech.
Yeah.
No,
Do it.
listen. And many of you probably watch the 5 people watching probably don't follow or keep up with the comics. So right now in the comic books, it's a disaster. It's a mess. Spider-Man, one of the best IPs in the world, one of the best characters ever. It's his own comic books are a pure mess. They don't know what to do with him. They literally are writing one of the worst just stories ever with the character. So, bro, seeing this movie and seeing that there's hope that it's possible to take this character and do something with it made me happy, bro, because it's a complete disgrace what they're doing in the comics right now.
Dang.
And it's sad because it's Spider-Man, but at the same time, the editors, the people that are in charge of what comes out from the comics, they're so scared to experiment, to be creative with the character, that they just want to play it safe always, and they don't let creators do their thing. So they're doing really horrible stories, and I even stopped buying the book. So the fact that Sony is out there, thankfully, even though they give us things like Morbius, bro, but they still give us this,
He's still on that, man.
bro.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah, it's fine.
It's-
You don't let it go.
You can't let it go.
No, I will never let it go. So the fact that Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse exists, man, I'm happy, bro. Like,
And then
I'm really
Beyond
happy.
the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's a good movie too.
Which
Have you
Yeah.
seen
fingers crossed,
No.
fingers crossed, it's gonna be a good movie too. So
It will. I mean,
We'll see.
listen. I believe that they made both the movies together. Obviously, there's already a release date for the next one, so I think it's like
March.
obviously probably not done yet, but like they just made it as one long movie. And what I like about this movie, and I can't wait to watch it again. Jeff, have you seen it twice already, or
yeah, I saw it twice.
man, I can't wait to see
My
it
boy-
again.
My boy's got money.
Yeah, he banking, but
I
cut it out. But I see this as the Infinity War Endgame of Spider-Man. Because it's the same thing. Infinity War and Endgame were made together as one long movie. They just cut it in two.
Yeah.
And so they shot it back to back. And so this, I believe, is the same thing. So, hey, if we're thinking like that, like the same people just made one long movie, just had to cut it. Now, you know, I said that I didn't go with high expectations. I'm going with the highest expectations for next year's movie. And I don't think it's going to disappoint. Jeff, I'm doing a thing that you do. I think next
gonna
movie is
blow
going to
you
be
away.
amazing.
Welcome
it's
to
going
the
blow
club.
me away. This is the one movie that I feel like Jeff, I am excited.
Yeah.
So you are right, because originally I believe the movie after this one was called Part 2, Across
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse Part 2. But then they pulled a Marvel to where they just changed the name.
Yeah.
Because before Infinity War, it was Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Then they changed the name to Endgame.
I
And
like
this
it.
one, they went from Across the Spider-Verse Part 2 to Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Right. I like that.
I never said how I feel about this movie, bro. This is my favorite Spider-Man movie. I don't know if I can sit here and talk to you guys about negatives, because I don't think I have any negatives about this movie. This is the
Wow.
best Spider-Man movie ever made, bro.
So it's the best movie. But I mean,
I would buy it on Blu-ray.
Spider-Man movie.
I'd buy it on Blu-ray. I would buy
Spider
it.
movie.
It's like what? It's gonna be like $30. I'll buy that thing. Absolutely.
And we
Yeah.
can go into details. We're gonna go into
Yeah.
details, but
Yeah.
I think this movie did everything right, bro.
Well, it might. Everybody said that the last one, Into the Spider-Verse, was the best Spider-Man movie ever, right? I think this
Yes.
is better than the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me too. Me too.
So, if the last one was the best one, this is the next best one. You know, the first one now.
Yeah. Well, for a while,
No
No Way
way.
Home was my favorite
Oh, really?
Spider-Man movie.
Actually, I think I do like No Way Home better than Into the Spider-Verse. But I think I like this one better than No Way Home.
No,
Yeah.
Into was my favorite animated movie.
Mm.
Like,
Okay, that's
yeah,
fair.
and that's hard to beat because you know what's my favorite animated movie?
No.
Shrek 2.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What is it with sequels?
Such a good movie.
What is it with like sequels? A lot of time, like when you do it right, it's better. What's the other
That's crazy
one?
how that works.
Yeah.
It's like that's supposed
I'm
to
just
happen.
saying. No, a lot of times sequels are not better. But you have
I think that's
Spider-Man.
what- is that what you meant to say?
Spider-Man 2. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is the
Better.
best of the trilogy.
Yes.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. I can
Yes.
Better
debate that
than,
it's
it's
better.
better than the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess Spider-Man just gets better.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I think
Two.
that's where it fell because
Yeah.
I'll take Homecoming over Far From Home.
I don't know. I'll take Far From Home over it.
Yeah.
I will take.
Well, that's still a sequel. No Way Home is the best one.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, you
It
get
is.
right,
It is a
okay.
sequel.
three
It
times
is
the
a
charm.
sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
but-
It's awesome.
All right, well, let's go.
It's going. To
I guess
the
let's just talk about
specifics.
the specifics.
I was gonna say the only like negatives are because we talked about it.
Yeah.
And they're really like creative nitpicks that we have, and that's only because we're filmmakers and we're also sitting here being forced to watch all these colors fly by our face.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's like we would obviously do things differently and blah blah blah, but it doesn't take anything away like at all. I already know what I rated this movie, so.
So I would say, what was I gonna say? I forgot.
He forgot what he was gonna say. Anyways, Jeff, take the floor.
All right. So this movie picks up a year and 4 months after the first one,
Oh, okay.
and
I was a little confused.
something I really like is that this movie is literally what the core of the character is, the trait, one of the main traits, which is him balancing being Spider-Man with his real life. Like, you remember Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2 opened with literally him having a difficult time balancing being Spider-Man and keeping his Pixar job. We see that with Tom Holland a little bit. It's like one of the main traits of Spider-Man, and they really went hard with that in this movie. So, the first movie was him becoming Spider-Man. Now this was him struggling. I don't know what the third one's going to be about, what the main thing is going to be, but yeah, I love how they just had him having a difficult time.
Mhm.
And it's so hard because he just wants to let it out. He wants to tell his parents, but it's like, no, because there will be consequences if I do that.
Yeah.
Consequences.
Right. Yeah.
You always make that reference. I find that like super interesting because the stakes. There's so many different levels of stakes. The stakes are obviously high because if I can like get ahead of myself, it's either the whole thing is like he has to either save one person or his entire world from being consumed. And that whole thing is like it kind of interweaves itself throughout the story. Like at the beginning, we obviously see how he is with Spider-Man, and he's trying to like keep it together in a sort of sense, like the Spider-Man life with his own life, and it's kind of falling apart as the movie goes along because all these consequences are happening, and we see how it affects his family and the other Spider-Man around him. And he's just trying his best, So trying to be the best Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He wants to save everybody.
Yeah.
And his
Yes.
life. And I think that's a really good reflection on the character.
If I have to say any negatives, just to like nitpick, right? Like let's get our grievances out and then I'll praise.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Daryl.
yeah.
You're gonna be the only one talking.
Yeah, I guess. Listen, there's not much.
It's not much.
It's nitpicks. Like I thought the fight scenes were a little too chaotic. I already said this. Like there's so much going on, and like everybody's saying this, they just throw so much at you. Like there's so much going on. The fight scenes. Like I feel like the first scene was kind of alright. It starts kind of slow with Gwen and like her like talking about herself, and then being in the band and being alone kind of sets her story up. But then you get into Miles, and oh my goodness, that thing is.
With the spot and everything. Like
There
when
was
you first
spot.
Start
yeah,
moving.
it's moving.
Yeah. It's a little too much. I think the way that the choreograph, but it's fun to watch though.
It makes you want to rewatch it.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is gonna be a movie that you catch stuff the second time. Which I want to ask you, Jeff, about like what did you think about the second view? Did you catch anything? But before that, there's so much going on. Gwen's universe bothered me a little bit. I like the whole like changing colors every time there's a cut. You know, every time they went back and forth. It's a very unique look to that universe. And I really liked it, but it was a little jarring.
Yeah.
Like going from one color to another, and then the background is just like one solid color, and it keeps changing. It's a little jarring to me.
And I get what they're doing. They're trying to like let the world fall away while they have this conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, make sure you don't lose us in the background.
Yeah.
Because there's some interesting creative choices they make with that whole, with Gwen's world specifically.
I wonder how many artists worked on this, because there's a lot of different.
There were 3 directors in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, imagine
Good
that.
Lord.
So, yeah, but the painting, I mean, it was like oil painting. But so there's that chaotic Gwen's universe. The movie felt a little long to me, and I don't know if this is negative. This is maybe a negative on the marketing side, but I really did not know this was a part 1. I know you guys knew, but I've been watching videos that people are saying like a lot of people didn't know it was a part 1, and I was one of them because I feel like they do. I know the first trailer said part 1, and then they took it off, but like all the trailers, all the advertisement, like coming up to it when really people are watching, like the normal people who are not into the behind the scenes, did not say anything about a part 1. You know what I mean? So like I feel like I had no idea that it was a part 1, but. With that being said, when the movie ended, I was not disappointed because I had such a great time watching this movie that when the movie was over and everybody clapped, I was like,
clapping, bro.
I was surprised that it was a part 1, but I was like, man, I freaking did it. I mean, I don't even care. That's how much. If it was something less, I would have been mad.
Less of a resolution.
Yeah, but it was like it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, you know what? I'm cool.
Yeah.
But with that, it's not like an unsatisfying movie. Like Gwen and Miles, our protagonists, they do go on a story arc. You know, they end different. Like the whole thing with Miles, like you were saying,
There's a change from the beginning.
Yes, I mean,
the end in their relationship.
Real quick, Gwen starts just being by herself. Like she doesn't want to be in a band. You know, she leaves her dad, and by the end, she realizes like how important has a band. Right, she gets the band back together.
The writing, bro.
She gets the band back together.
The movie starts with her, and it ends with her.
Yes, yes. So Gwen getting the band back together and like making up with her dad. Like at the end, it's like they understood each other, you know, and like that's resolved. And then there's Peter who wants to like be part of the Spider Gang, right, and be part of something bigger, and like be connected to the Spider-Mans. And then once he finds out what's what, he's like, you know what, I actually don't want to do this, and like I know what I want to do. Like I'm gonna do my own thing, and like that's also resolved. I mean, yeah, the villain is not resolved because he kind of like disappears in the third act. Like it becomes about Spot just out. But as far as like character arcs, it's pretty resolved, and like it's set up for them to go on a different journey. So anyway, I ended up praising it anyway. My criticism.
I think the thing with the villain is like it was something like there's still a change there, and
the villain changed too.
Yeah, he starts off. They even make fun of it. Like, he's like, oh, he's just a villain of the week. And then like you see at the end, he's just legitimately like a universal threat.
Yes, and that's also great writing.
Yeah,
like the
writing.
character, part of the villain is like he's mad that Miles made fun of him. Like, oh, you don't think I'm a villain? I'm gonna show you.
He's the villain of the week,
bro. Yeah, he threw that bagel at him.
What am
R.I.P. You messed up.
Yeah,
you messed up.
Messed it up.
Don't throw bagels at people.
Well, we're still in the negatives, kinda.
If we can't get,
I had to think about it. It's not like you said. It's not a negative. It's just a nitpick. Not the score, because the score was perfect. The soundtrack to this movie didn't hit like the first movie. I think Metro Boomin did great. He produced the soundtrack. You know, I believe what happened was that they just said, okay, who's one of the best producers? Who's one of the hottest producers right now? Metro Booming. So they just got Metro Booming, and it's got some pretty good songs. Like Annihilation is pretty dope.
I like
And the last song with
Hummingbird. I like Hummingbird.
Hummingbird is good,
Uh-huh.
and the one with Nas at the end, the last track.
Oh, I haven't.
They
I haven't
brought
listened to
Nas,
those.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nas is a legend, and he killed it. But I feel like it just didn't hit like the first one, bro. Like Sunflower, that song is
Classic.
timeless.
Classic. No, yeah.
And What's Up Danger,
What's
Oh.
up,
those were
Danger?
two memorable songs. I don't think this album had any memorable songs that we're gonna remember in a year.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's the only thing that I could think of that the soundtrack wasn't.
I was gonna say saying that they used "What's Up Danger" in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so good. You run it back. You know,
Run it back.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, I agree. I definitely.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's any songs that are timeless in this album, but however, they're good.
It's a different
But-
vibe. Have you listened to the album?
Yeah,
Different
yeah,
Bob. No.
No. Okay. It's.
should.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. I
I
was
listen to
listening.
it. It's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's good. I was cleaning my house while I was playing it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is." I see what they're going for, and it's funny because like, I started listening to the actual score, and I'm like, "This is awesome," you know. But
Bro,
bro,
this-
can I say
okay,
the Miguel O'Hara's theme when he first comes in is like, I was like, oh god,
dude,
man.
I
He's the
love,
Prowler for the movie.
I love. Yeah, no, yeah, literally. I love Gwen's score. You know that thing that goes. That reminds me of a song.
Really?
You know what I'm talking about? There's like an old song that goes. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Never mind.
Mhm.
I might just send myself later, but it reminded me of that. They use like some sort of wind instrument. That's what it
Okay.
sounds like.
All right.
Gwen on
Yeah.
screen. Yeah.
I kind of well up a little bit when I hear Miles's theme, the whole. But they use it in like solemn moments, or they use it in epic moments, and I always start humming it because I'm like, that's so well made. I guess if it's my turn to add a negative, they try to towards the climax, they try to mirror the leap of faith scene when he's on the train, and
Yeah.
you know the part where he's like, "My name's Miles Morales," and he jumps off and like does a flip and kicks Miguel in the face.
Yes.
So
I
they're,
noticed that. I
yeah,
noticed
they're
that.
mirroring, they're referencing the leap of faith scene. I feel like if you're gonna do that, you should have slowed it down like a lot more. You know, like
They
let
can't.
let me.
They can't.
Yeah, I guess not, but like let me kind of take it in a little more. You know.
Yo,
'cause-
but that line, that was a bar where he was like, and everybody's been trying to tell me what my story is.
Yeah.
But nah, I'm gonna do my own
I'm
thing.
gonna do my own thing.
And he did
That
the
was-
shoulder touch.
Yes.
He did the shoulder touch.
Yes.
Bro.
I said he didn't
so
say
good.
that. Hey.
Good stuff. Yeah, but I guess that's it for
One
negative.
other thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's a negative, and I would again. This is the thing that I have to watch it again to know if I don't like it. But it felt at some point like, you know how they every time somebody comes in, they do the little like, let's run this back. Like, let's start from the beginning, and it's a new Spider-Man telling their story. It felt like maybe one too many when it was. I don't know if it was during the Indian Spider-Man or the punk rock. I think it was when the punk rock was the last one, right? That they
Yeah.
introduced.
Yeah.
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 When he came in and he was like,
Oh no!
let me
it
tell
was-
you my story."
It was Miguel, but Miguel's was kind of
Oh.
integrated.
They interrupted.
Yeah.
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 It was either Miguel, but I think by punk rock's intro, I was like,
Spider-Punk.
really? It's Spider-Punk. I was like, really? Another one? And I was like, is this important? Do we need this? Maybe that's why I felt a little long to me. Like, when they break, like, you know, they have to stop the movie to like, hey, let me give you my backstory. And it's like, okay, do we need this? I felt like, okay, it
For
felt a little long.
India, it felt important. That makes sense.
It did. No, and it was fun too. It was
yeah,
funny.
and then but actually for like Spider-Punk, it doesn't really pay off because he just tells you anyways who he is. You know.
It was funny though.
Yeah.
It was funny. I love the Indian Spider-Man intro.
Avatar.
Oh yeah,
Avatar?
and
You know who that is,
and the
right?
hair. It was so funny.
The
You know who that is? Voicing him?
Yes, yes,
from
the guy-
Deadpool.
the Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Deadpool.
Mr.
Thank you,
Deadpool. Salutations, Mr. Boone.
Perfect casting. I mean,
Yeah,
that
I
guy-
mean,
he
they,
killed
they
it.
did really good. I heard
So
they.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
No, keep talking. I got it.
Oh, Daryl will be back. Will be back with these messages. I don't know where he's going. I heard that they went back into the writers' room with him, the guy who plays him, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
wanted to incorporate more like Indian culture stuff, you know. So they just kind of sat down with him and added like jokes, like the chai tea bit.
The chai tea, yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
funny.
and you know, other little things that, you know, to incorporate into his world. And
Yeah.
stuff. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
That was funny.
Writers never stop, man. Writers never stop.
I don't know. I don't know if this is a negative, but at 3 points, I feel like, and this is with the knowledge that this was gonna be a cliffhanger. I think there were like 3 different times where I thought the movie was gonna end.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it felt like there was ending and then more and then another ending and then
Yeah, they give you more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a negative because it was actually a good feeling because I was like, oh, we're gonna end right here. No,
And
there's
then-
more.
No, there's more. There's more. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see more. You know. Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
that.
But when the real ending was coming, it was kind of obvious. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
this
'cause
is the
you can
real
hear the
ending.
music and
yeah.
everything's-
And then like when Miles touches the chain, that's that's how he's gonna escape, and he gives you a little smile, like okay, you know. But oh my god, so
Bro,
cool. That ending was so cool.
That third movie, we're just gonna go. Like,
Bro.
it's gonna start. Miles is gonna set free. The group is gonna go after him. Like, we're just gonna go, bro.
Okay, let's
gonna
talk
be
about our
insane.
favorite moments in the movie real quick. Or at least something that we want to point out.
Well, maybe start small. What's your favorite joke?
No, let's do
I
favorite
have-
moment. We're not gonna be here all day.
No, I just,
We're already at
thought, I
30
just
minutes.
remembered something. What was it? He was like, Spider-Man India. He's like, oh, being Spider-Man is super easy.
Yeah.
And then like they try to stop the spot, but he disappears, and he's like, well, it's another easy day
Yeah.
for Spider-Man, and they're like, no,
don't say it.
like he blows up.
That's alright.
That was
Every joke works, man, in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
go on.
my favorite moment. Let's just do favorite moment and then we'll end it.
Damn.
Can I
Sorry.
say something?
What? There's so much.
Actually, can we
Funny.
talk about? Can we talk about one of the most important things that happened in this movie? Something
ahead.
they established.
Do you wanna work
Yes,
your,
Jeff.
your way there, or should
Absolutely.
we start with that?
Go ahead, Jeff.
All right, go ahead.
The floor is yours.
And it's not even a favorite moment, but I think we got to talk about this.
Okay, go ahead.
So in this movie, they established the web of life and destiny.
Yes.
And this is something that connects all the Spider-Man, literally across media. That's why we had all those fun Easter eggs and cameos.
Mhm.
But I think that this is not only is this pulled right from the comics, but I think this is how they will set up whatever Sony's endgame is. Whether they will bring Miles Morales into real life or whatever they're gonna do. But I just find it so interesting that this is now a thing, and that the possibilities are endless. Like, what are they gonna do? And also, can you guys comment on what do you think is the end game for Miguel O'Hara? Because clearly he's trying to stop him from. He's pretty much the TVA. He was acting like the TVA, preventing things from happening. They established the canon, so he set it upon himself to keep things in canon and acting like the TVA. So what do you guys think about that? Because that's huge.
Okay, I'll go first just because I don't know much about him, about Miguel O'Hara's. I don't know about his character. Obviously, they're trying to keep him unknown. We don't know much about him. And again, I saw somebody talking about this, like a theory, like maybe the way he told us his story is a little misleading. Like he talks about how his family and he went to another universe to be, and then everybody disappeared. I think there's more to that. And then when they kept referencing, like, are you sure you're Spider-Man? Like, first of all, Peter B. Parker, he points out, you're not funny. Like, Spider-Mans are supposed to be funny. You're not even funny. And then he has, like, claws And then Miles says, like, are you sure you're Spider? You got claws and you're a vampire? And like, are you sure you're Spider-Man? So obviously they're gonna reveal that he's not technically a Spider-Man, and I think you told me that that's the case. So I think they're setting that up, and obviously he's the antagonist, so he's gonna be a full-out villain in the next movie. I don't know if it's out of revenge or something. I mean, he hates freaking Miles for some reason. So I think there's a lot that they're not telling us about his character that it's kind of hard to predict where he's going. Because in this movie, he wasn't the main antagonist, obviously was that, but he was towards the end, trying to stop Miles. And so if what he told us about himself is not true, and like we don't know his real intentions, it's kind of hard to predict him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of wavering on both sides because I can see that happening, but I can also believe what they said here. And maybe he's like the TVA. He's so caught up in like, what he believes. Like Miles tries to save Spider-Man India's, or he does save Spider-Man India's captain, Captain Stacy.
He was supposed to die.
He was supposed to die, and that causes a, what's it called? Well, it causes
a canon event.
Yeah, it causes his world to like start.
It disrupts the canon event.
Yeah, but it's being consumed by the Spot because the hole that they're trying to plug up is from the Spot.
No, I think that's the universe.
Oh
no, it's like a black paint hole.
I think that's what the misunderstanding is because Miles says no, it's the Spot, and then Miguel says no, it's the disrupting the canon event. I don't think we know for sure though.
Maybe that's
maybe
that's left up in the air.
Yeah, you would know more since you watched it twice, but it kind of seems like it was the disruption. It wasn't the dot.
I don't know. I was listening to Miles and I was like, I feel like that's what he's trying to do. That he wants to stop the Spot in order to save his dad and the world. Because the Spot is the reason. Like now he can dip into multiverses and mess with them and stuff like that. Because they're chasing.
And the second time.
Sorry, go ahead.
Right, and the second time I saw this, I noticed that they don't really tell us what happens whenever you disrupt the canon event. Even Gwen, if there's a scene when Gwen says like, "Can you just tell us like what happens, or did you tell him what happens?"
Yeah, and he's like, "Do you really want to find out?" Right?
Yeah, something like that. So we're not even sure.
Maybe he's lying.
That's
what I'm saying.
I don't know. I think maybe he's telling the truth.
Maybe.
Okay, so there is something, and I can't believe I haven't seen none of these people on TikTok. Like, hey guys, I have a theory. No, like there is something.
That's what they sound like, Jeff?
There is something that I thought of. So you know how they keep saying that he's like a vampire type thing?
Well,
Miguel?
That's his venom. Like,
or they call him a vampire?
Yeah, they call him a vampire because of his teeth, but he can bite you and paralyze you. Basically.
Okay, but it was put out there. He's a vampire. He called him jokingly a vampire. So, George, maybe you know about this. In the Spider-Verse comics, the event in 2014, the first time that all the Spider-Man came together.
Oh, the first.
Do you know who was the bad guy in that story?
More
now, this is a long shot. This is a long shot.
Bro? Are you saying
Morlun.
Miguel is Morlun?
No.
Morlun? I don't know his name.
Maybe. Dario, to let you in.
Yeah.
Morlun is one of the villains in the Spider-Man comics, and he's a vampire. And in his first appearance, he was just a character that almost killed Spider-Man, but Spider-Man defeated him. Then years later in the Spider-Verse event, he came back with his family. They were called the Inheritors. And the whole plot was that they were trying to take over the Spider-Verse, and they were going to consume all the Spider-Man in the world. So all the Spider-Man had to team up and fight the Inheritors. So now I'm wondering if that's the end game, George, that it's going to turn out that Miguel O'Hara was lying and he's part of the Inheritors, and they're trying to consume the Spider-Verse and destroy the web of destiny and life. I know it's a long shot, but they did.
That's
they
awesome.
did reference the vampire joke, so that
Yeah.
made me think like, hey.
And I only believe you more because are you bored? When they what is it? When he tries to bite Vulture at the beginning, he doesn't like successfully bite, and you would think like, oh, maybe for kids they don't want to show that. But like you said, they reference it, and then also we don't see him because his power is like he can just paralyze you if he bites you.
He injects something.
Into himself. We don't know what that is, you know. So I only can feed off that. Basically, that's awesome. Damn, where's this movie at, bro?
Yeah, and shout out to Comic Pop because I was literally watching their Spider-Verse episode today, and I was like, bro,
Yeah.
Morlon. That sounds like something they would do.
Yeah, and
so
I mean, yeah, we're reaching, but still, that would be cool.
Reach for the stars, man. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, what were we talking about?
I was just saying favorite moment.
Oh, okay.
In
Go
the
ahead.
movie.
Jeff. I know you got one.
I'll go next. I don't even know. There's so many moments.
Okay. Yeah.
There's so many moments.
I will say the scene where they talk upside down.
Yes.
When they go,
Oh.
this is the reason why I want to watch this movie again. There's so many visual
Like, there's
beauty. I don't know how to say it. It's so beautiful, but it's so cool when they go upside down and they have that little conversation.
Yeah.
And again,
it's really touching. Too.
it's all setting up the fact that Miles is technically not Spider-Man because he was bitten by accident. And maybe
He's
that
an
part is
anomaly.
true.
Yes.
And maybe that's true. You know, it makes complete sense. You know, that spider came from another universe, bit him,
Oh.
and then
I
Spider-Man
love that.
died. Hold on. And so, hold on.
Go. Keep going.
I know. You're like, keep going, but stop. But freaking you got the thought out of my head.
Sorry.
So, right, he's an anomaly. He's not supposed to be there. So, which is why he's resistant to be like, maybe my captain doesn't need to die. I can go save him. And maybe that's true because he's doing his own thing. He's not a Spider-Man. His story is different. And so with the Gwen thing,
It's so good.
With the Gwen thing, she's like, you know, when they talk in that conversation upside down, she's like, every time Spider-Man is with Gwen, it doesn't work out. And he says, there's a first time for everything. I think this means that we're getting a fresh story. We're getting a fresh story. Like, his story is not the Spider-Man story.
Yeah, and that's the point he's trying to drive the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like even in the first movie, he's like, I'm different. I'm not gonna end up like any of y'all. You know, it's the basis of it. I'm an anomaly. It doesn't have to go the way that it went for you guys. Mm-hmm. You know, and what if he does, like, it makes you believe, what if he does stop the spot and nothing happens?
I mean,
you know,
that's the point. The point is, like, they're opening that possibility. Like, is he Spider-Man and his dad has to die, or is his story different? And his story is different. He's not Peter Parker. I mean, not all of them are called Peter Parker. But him being an anomaly means anything's possible. Go ahead, Jeff.
Bro, from in the office when he had that meeting with the parents,
yes,
from the beginning, he's being told, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to be. She literally tells him, it's a small line that says, just make sure to stick to the script.
Yeah.
And he keeps being told what to do. He keeps being told what to say. So I love the fact that this guy wasn't even supposed to be Spider-Man. I love that they introduced that because that wasn't in the first movie.
No.
But they were like, no, Spy created you. And matter of fact, that spider came from another universe. You weren't even supposed to be Spider-Man. And here you go, the anomaly. You have the balls to also go against everything.
Yeah.
And like, because
I do my own thing, bro.
Yeah, I've seen somebody on Twitter say that they didn't really like the fact that his friends from the first movie, even they kind of went against him, and they agree with Miguel. But they do have a good argument. Like, you're trying to save whole worlds.
Yes.
And so it's either one or the other. So I love that Miles is like, it's such a Spider-Man thing in a way where he's like, no, but we gotta try.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
gotta try.
There's gotta be
That
another
feels like
way.
a Miles thing.
Yeah.
Like, look, the
It's a
video
Spider-Man
game.
thing, bro.
Look, pick that up. the cover for Miles. The
Dude,
video
I
game.
freaking love this movie, bro.
Dude,
Let me
dude.
tell you.
Where's the?
So
Where's it say it? It says. Damn it! It doesn't have it. Oh yeah, right there. Yo, you can't really see it, but on the slogan for the game, it says "Be yourself." Be yourself. That's Miles. That's Miles' whole thing.
That's Spider-Man, bro. That's
yeah,
you remember when
That's
they
you,
were in
Jared.
India? There he is.
There he is, my boy.
It looks just like you
He
there.
looks just like you.
thank you. What were you gonna say real quick?
Oh, one more thing. When they were in India, right?
Sponsored.
When they were saving the people, you remember when the Spider-Man from India, he had the bus on one hand,
Yeah,
and he saw the dad on the other hand. He was like, I can do both.
Yes.
Like, it's such a Spider-Man thing to try to do both, you know,
Yes.
try to save everybody. And sometimes he fails. There's even a thing in the comics where I believe it's James Jonah Jameson, his wife died, and Spider-Man feels guilty about it. And it becomes a whole arc where he says something about like, from this day forward, nobody will die in my, like, if I'm there. So that's a Spider-Man thing. Like, when I'm there, we're gonna save everybody.
Yep. You're gonna
So
try.
the fact that Miles is in this journey now where he wants to do both, you know, and I just love that.
no exception. No exception.
Bro, he's only being given two options, and you better pick one. So I love the opposition that, oh, you're gonna have to get through Miguel, you're gonna have to get through the whole society. You pissed off every Spider-Man in the universe.
yeah,
You pissed off every Spider-Man in the universe. The anomaly, the guy that wasn't even supposed to be Spider-Man.
yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
And can I say, like, Peter B. Parker with the daughter is so funny, but I love his line. Like, you know, he's been such a like parent to Miles as well.
Yeah, he wants.
as well.
He wants to.
And he's
yeah,
like
he
one of the
loves that
best, and he keeps saying like, Miguel, stop, like, you know, you're being too rude on him. Like, just give him a chance, or just let me talk to him, you know. And then when he finally catches up to him, I love what he says. You know, Miles says like, we're Spider-Man, we always win, and he goes, not always.
Not always.
And then he said like, yes, bad things are gonna happen, but then he's like, but good things happen too. And like, you can see their point of view. Obviously, they're just like, you know, every other Spider-Man has something, so they're like, this is unavoidable. But it's like also unfair of them to tell him like, you want me not to even try, like, to save my dad?
Right.
And like, and again, it shows also that like, that love for the parents. This movie feels like it was made for parents. Honestly, like, this is their point that they're really trying to drive home.
That was such a bar.
Careful,
Bro, I
careful,
want
careful.
to have a child after watching this movie.
Yeah, dude.
You know what, boys? Let's go get kids.
I mean, you got Gwen's parent, dad.
Let's go get-
You got Miles' parents. You know, you got Peter B. Parker being a parent, and like, it's all about like looking out for your son.
No, that is so.
That's
true.
really what it's
so
about.
To segue into my favorite scene,
Yeah,
I almost cried during this scene. Well, I did. I think I was crying.
I think you did.
I did cry. No, I cried. Miles wants, or I forgot what he wants to go with Gwen,
Yeah,
and his mom, like, they kind of have a subtle talk, like kind of a talk without words in a way. What's that called?
you mean when they're like in the up
subtext.
there and it's just
Subtext,
her?
yeah, yes, in the water towers.
In the
They're
water
having
tower.
talk with like subtext, and she just like opens up on him, and she's like, "Just go, do this, and we're proud of you, and all that." And I was like,
When you come back, I know.
"Yeah," I was like, "Oh, my
Like, you're still
God."
my little boy, and and going to do.
I'll be
And- oh,
back with a cake.
Yeah, that's gonna pay off.
If he, oh my god,
Your
if he
money.
comes
You
back,
know what that
the next movie with a cake and it's like still messed up or something, or
Yeah.
maybe it's good, I'll bawl. I'll
Yeah.
bawl like a baby.
Can I just say?
You know what that real quick. You know what that reminded me of? You remember Amazing Spider-Man 1 when he came back home with the
Yeah,
eggs?
with the eggs. Yeah. Oh, see, that movie is good, Darian.
Oh, bro.
I mean, this is a Spider-Man thing.
Okay.
He has everything that Spider-Man has.
It does whatever a spider can. Am I right?
Yeah, does whatever a spider can.
You didn't have to sing it.
Oh, also the point that I love too had payoff on this. The mom is telling him, go to college, and like the main thing she wants to let him know is like, just I don't want you to feel like you don't belong. You belong here. You are special, and like go out there and don't let anybody make you feel bad and make you feel like you don't belong. And then what happens next? He goes to the Spider-Verse. And like, and Miguel literally tells him,
"You're a mistake.
You're a mistake. You don't belong here." And it's because of his mom that he's able to say, "You know what? That's fine, because I'm gonna do my own thing." And like that talk with the mom. By the way, they included the mom so much more in this one. I feel like they were trying to make up for the last movie because she's barely in it.
Yeah.
But in this one, she's like in it.
I was looking at it a little too long. Bro.
But beautiful woman.
Hey, listen, we all have taste.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, all right, but
I'm right there with you, Josh.
Oh my.
Yes, sir. Darius, don't tell me you don't agree.
They animated her a little too good, bro.
Little too nice. I'm just saying.
Well, she looks different.
Yeah.
But keep it in your pants and let me get to my point. I forgot what I was saying.
That was your point. That's what you were saying.
Yeah, that's just beautiful.
That's
no, about her mom.
The setup and the payoff with the mom telling her that you do belong. You know, that's gonna be part of his journey, and the fact that he got his band back. There's so many setups and payoffs. Oh my god.
Writing. 10 out of 10.
It's all about the writing.
Speaking of the mom, can we talk about that twist when he's talking to his mom?
Oh, that was gonna be also my favorite moment. I was legitimately, you know how sometimes I can predict a few things that are gonna happen in a movie.
That's your superpower.
Kind of, but in this scene, I looked at it. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Where is he?
We had no idea.
No idea. I really did not see it coming.
It's usually easy for us to kind of put it together.
I did hear something, and I want to go back and watch it. Maybe Jeff, you picked up on this, but apparently, I saw a video. Somebody pointed out that they figured it out because of the mom's eye color. Apparently, in Miles' universe, her eyes are brown, but in the other universe, her eyes are green. And like they were like, so whoever did the video, they were like, I noticed it because I noticed that her eyes were brown.
Hold on.
But then when he goes back to the room, her eyes are green. And like that's how you know, like subtly.
That boy is paying a little too close attention to that girl.
And I was looking at her eyes too.
Yeah.
So did you notice that with her eyes? I want to watch it again too.
I'll be honest with
things
you.
Like that.
The second time I was looking for any little clue, I couldn't find anything.
The thing that bothered me that I didn't pick
notice.
up on, the haircut. Obviously, Miles from that universe has a different haircut.
That's what I wanted to point out. So in this, you know when he gets hit by the collider with Spot the second time, and he sees like the future, right?
Yes.
So in that little, I know it's chaotic, but if you really look, because somebody did a video on it, you can see.
I saw that
when you saw that when the spider from that universe gets sucked into the. Into the multiverse to end up with Miles in the first one. But you see Miles. You see the new Miles, because he has the dreads.
What scene?
When he can see.
When he has that vision.
Yeah, he has a vision of his like dad and the Spot and stuff. It's all
like
black and white.
Yeah. And you see the little kid and the.
Yeah, you see the spider, and then you see it like get sucked into the portal. But you see Miles there. But with the dreads, the new Miles. So that was early in the movie. Yeah, it was just, damn it, man.
I mean, there was a lot of visuals on the very first scene when Gwen is talking, and Miles is there too. Is that the same scene? Am I wrong? Like in the first scene, you see Gwen.
Oh yeah, when
playing.
she's like, his name is Miles Morales.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of flashes, and I'm like, are they showing us the whole movie right now? Like at the very beginning,
they kind of did.
They did? I gotta go back and see it. I gotta watch this movie.
Wait, what? Like
there were a few flashes.
Beginning?
There were a few flashes
of the future of this movie. Yeah. I remember in the first scene, they're like, there's a bunch of there's so much going on in that scene, and you see Miles a couple times. I'm like, are they like giving us snapshots of this movie?
So they do that in the last movie. In the last movie, when it's like, all right, let's start from the beginning, and it goes into like.
The comic book.
Yeah, like comic book stuff. Yeah. It shows you snippets of the during the movie. And maybe that's just a thing, but I don't know. So, yeah, I agree. Those
were my favorite moments. That conversation upside down, that conversation with the mom, and then like the whole finale, and I'ma do my own thing. The I'm gonna do my own thing.
Oh yeah,
the floored with that line. That was so cool. The way he said it.
The whole chase.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Like, I know we saw it in previews.
I did not see it.
You didn't. Well, that's good for you.
Yeah.
But I saw it in previews, and I'm like, if they're showing it in previews, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But the way they like, I saw it coming, but the way it was being set up, like they were giving him the exposition, which, by the way, that's how you do exposition. You don't talk to the audience. I'm looking at you, Little Mermaid. But all the spider people start coming around, like, slowly. Like, what is this? An intervention? That's what he says, right?
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like,
oh man.
Yeah,
that seems
oh,
so good.
it's about to, and it just go.
They just casually hit you with a shot of Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's that too. Oh, by the way, Andrew Garfield is here.
Yeah.
And Tobey Maguire.
I call that.
Did you see the Tobey Maguire one?
Tobey, Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man. Everybody's there, man. He's right there. Look, he's right there in the corner of our screen there.
To keep it and what you were saying, dude, the tension of that moment, it was so good. To when you start feeling it, it's like this build-up, and I even love how Spider-Punk is like, Miles, just use your hand.
Yes. Yeah,
use your palm. Use your palm. Yeah,
use your palm.
And then he breaks that field, and I love that pause because it's them and us, just like
we're all like, oh,
like what?
And then he just goes, he just runs, boom, and that's it. It's go time.
Beautiful,
Absolutely.
beautiful, bro, beautiful.
It's amazing. Also, I guess to cap this off, my boy right here at the bottom of the screen is PS4 Spider-Man. He showed up and I loved it. That's my favorite Spider-Man of all time.
Like barely, but
barely, but he was there. And that's
it was
all
like
that
behind something.
Which adds to this. My theory for the next movie, I think we're gonna see more Miles variation.
Oh,
yeah, like because we now have a Prowler version of Miles, so I think we're gonna see more Spider-Man.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so because
he's the anomaly.
The point of the movie is that he's an anomaly. Miles was never supposed to be Spider-Man. It's always Peter Parker and Gwen, I guess.
That's interesting because, like, when you look at the Spot flashback, it's with him. Like, the spider is gonna bite him. That's what I'm saying. It's Miles, that version of Miles with dreads.
No.
Yeah. I think that's just because I think the point was that spider was supposed to bite a Peter Parker in that universe.
Yes. Yeah. Miles was never gonna be Spider-Man. Yeah.
He's not supposed to be Spider-Man.
How do you explain this guy? How do you explain this guy?
In the movie logic.
Yeah, I get you.
In the movie logic.
No, but still.
Because that, and you know what? I think that took me a little too long to figure out what they were talking about, like him not being Spider-Man. I was like, what are they talking about? And like,
literally,
but then, like, it makes sense. Like, that spider that was supposed to be Peter Parker in that universe went to the universe when there was already a Spider-Man in Big Miles, and that's why that Peter Parker dies because of Miles.
Yes.
And so that other universe is left without a Spider-Man, which is why
sucks.
Which is why
that thing looks like
the collider that sends it back, it gets the DNA from the spider and sends it to the spider's universe, not Miles. That's why he doesn't go back to his universe.
You wanna know what else?
That's so awesome. That's
you know when you are in the wrong universe, you glitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe the spider.
The spider was glitching in the first movie, bro.
Yes,
he was.
Movie, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Bro, come on, son.
And
come on, bro.
another little thing. When he's swinging in that universe, getting to his house.
You don't know.
They cut it together so you think they keep going back to Gwen and the other guys, like watching his apartment to make it seem like they're in the same universe. But he doesn't notice because another thing that you would think is like he's swinging through his neighborhood. It looks different, but he doesn't notice because he just went through this whole thing and those voices keep playing in his head. Yeah. You don't belong.
That's for us too.
Yeah, you don't belong. The mom and other thing. He even crashes into a car for the first time. He breaks a window.
I thought that was random. That was really like.
No,
I get what they're doing
to drive the point that he's really
the moment.
He's so distracted.
Yeah. I was like, why did you just get hit by a car?
Yeah, but he falls because he's so distracted with all these thoughts ringing in his head. Mm-hmm. He just wants to get home and check on his dad that he doesn't notice that the whole city looks different until he gets to the into the rooftop, and he's like, "What is going on here?" And he's like, "That makes perfect sense. He would be so distracted by all these voices telling him all this information."
Being lost in the best way.
Yeah.
In the movie for a twist.
Yeah.
You know, like we're sitting here oblivious, like,
yeah,
what is happening? We're trying to put it together. Maybe this, maybe that. And then boom, and Uncle Aaron shows up, and I'm like, oh no.
And watching this, when you watch this the second time, focus on Gwen. When they're interacting, you see it. You see that she wasn't supposed to be there. That she's trying to multitask. That she's keeping something from Miles.
Oh yeah.
And this huge, bro. I was like, I didn't really notice the first time. I thought she was just like, oh hey Miles, like but. The second time I was like, oh my gosh, she was
Gwen?
carrying this weight. Gwen, yeah.
Gwen.
Because,
I noticed that she was hiding something. Yeah.
Gwen was originally there for the spot. Her mistake was going up to Miles. Yeah, and she left a little tracking device instead.
Yeah.
But what she was supposed to do is be there. But in the second movie, you see her like trying to multitask. And like trying to be careful with the wording and stuff because she's hiding this thing from Miles. And
what she's hiding is, first of all, the whole multiverse with the spiders. She kind of lies and says like it's a small team. Yeah. It's not. But then it's like the whole thing about his dad dying, because she's like, you guys knew, and you didn't tell me, and like they're like, that's why you didn't come see me, because they couldn't face him and tell him like, we know your dad is about to die, and like you can't do anything about it.
See,
and you're an anomaly. You're not even supposed to be Spider-Man.
You're a mistake.
He was
first. They would have said it like that.
You're the worst.
I mean, Peter Parker was like, "What are you doing? We didn't talk. What did he say? What did he say? Like, we didn't discuss this."
Oh, it's not what we talked about. And then he's like, "You guys talked about this?
You guys talked about it? Yeah.
Yeah. I see. That's another. I think that's another good example of writing. Is like a team dynamic. You can't always like each other. You know, you're gonna have something you disagree on, and then they put the biggest disagreement on Gwen, where it's like, she knows, she has all this knowledge of this, and then but she still, by character choice, goes to see Miles and messes it up for her, which pushes Miles to look into the events to come, and that caused.
He's dead.
That's how you do it.
You're pushing the narrative. The narrative is not pushing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this.
When something's so good, it makes you mad.
This movie had no business being so good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
damn it.
True.
My God.
I'm sweating again.
All right. So
to cap it off.
And then let's give a rating.
Oh, what were you gonna say, Jeff? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, for the sake of time, because there's so much more I want to say, but for the sake of time, we can't stay here all night.
Right.
But I guess I'll just finish with this, and I'll give my rating. And George, you saw the video I made, so you probably know what I'm gonna say. But, bro,
go check out Jeff's channel, Nerdscope. It's really good.
Yeah, bro, this movie to me was what defines Spider-Man. Not only was this a good movie, not a movie by itself because it continues later, but I think this was a good movie, a good Spider-Man movie, a good Spider-Man story, where it tells you who Spider-Man is, what his main trait is, which is balance his life and Spider-Man life and choices. Nailed it. It's a good sequel because it follows the previous movie, and it's even better. And I think it also did a great job at setting up the next chapter, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous because this is such a high bar, bro.
Yes,
this is such a high bar.
Yeah, the stakes are higher now too, and it's like it becomes you're treading the line of becoming less personal, and less care. But we care about these characters now, so I think there's room to be safe,
Yeah, but yeah, man, this is by far my favorite Spider-Man movie. I'll give it a 10.
That easy answer for me. 10 out of 10. Honestly, Jeff said everything. Yeah, it's a good sequel. I don't know if it stands on its own as a sequel?
I think it does.
I think it could. I always think of movies like if I could show my mom, basically, and she can understand it from like beginning to end.
I think they do a good job at like doing flashbacks and like showing like when Miles was not supposed to be there and when Peter Parker in his universe dies. You know, they show that, right? Yeah. They do a quick flashback to see that Spider-Man dying.
Yeah,
right,
and then obviously you would enjoy it more.
Yeah,
I think you would obviously enjoy it more if you knew the.
Yeah, but it's a sequel, like.
Yeah,
but I think
you're gonna run into that anyways.
Yeah, we'll see when somebody watches it that hasn't seen the first one. I think you can.
Those people are weird.
I'll give it a 10.
Those people are weird. Have you seen those people who react to that?
Yeah, people do it. I'll give it a 10. Can you react to me giving it a 10?
Good job. Me gusta.
Yeah, I mean, we can nitpick like the hell out of it, but like.
No, I can't.
It's a fun movie.
It's good, man. It's good. No, I'm excited to see it again because I'm definitely gonna see it again. Absolutely.
It's really enjoyable the second time.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
that's gonna be really my rating. I'm gonna give it a 10. When I watch it again next episode, I'll let you guys know.
You know what I want to nitpick?
If it dropped, because we're gonna drop.
I'm sick of these theaters. This theater that we go to.
Oh.
Every time we buy something, at the end of the movie, at the end of every movie we've seen, they get in front of you like, "Hey, so we want you to pay for what you bought." Dario's literally missed like 2 things. He was like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, no problem." Like, God dang it, get out of the way.
Let me say 2 things before I forget. One thing is, apparently the sound mix was kind of off in the first scene. And Jeff, you can let me know since you watched it twice. But I heard people say they've watched in different theaters, and it was still kind of hard to hear Gwen at the beginning. Really? Is this true?
This is true, and I actually saw a TikTok on this. So when I went to see it in IMAX, it was fine. When I went to see it the second time at an AMC theater, right away, I remember you. I was like, oh my God, you can barely hear this. I saw a video on TikTok that said that it's a thing that people are on Twitter commenting about. What Phil Lord said, one of the producers, is that apparently at the movie theaters, there's a setting that they're supposed to hit for the movie to sound better.
And they're not.
And I guess all these theaters, they didn't do that.
They didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys watch an AMC theater. That's where I noticed the issue. The first time I saw it in IMAX, it was a Cineplus or something like that, Cinemax. It was fine.
Yeah,
it was good.
I think what happens is like Sony is like mixing these movies in like really good quality theaters, but then when they send it, it doesn't translate. Right. And so, especially like the beginning or like when there's a lot of action music and people are talking, it's kind of hard to hear. Yeah.
It was super low.
In our theater, the first few scenes, especially Gwen's first scene when she's talking, could barely hear anything. Like our theater volume was really loud. I'm thinking they turned it up, or maybe it was just the way it was. But I've been hearing that's a thing. There's like articles being written about it. Like people are saying, a lot of theaters are complaining. It's unfortunate. Yeah. They gotta go. They're probably gonna go back and remix it. You know,
It didn't matter later.
It doesn't. But it kind of sucks. Like
it does suck though. The experience. You're there for the experience.
And the other thing I was gonna point out, and I heard someone say this too, that for the younger generation, Miles Morales is gonna be Spider-Man, and Peter Parker is gonna take a back seat. You know, because if you think about the games, Spider-Man Miles, the second Spider-Man is coming out, and then you got these movies. The younger generation is Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
Everybody loves Miles. Everybody.
Yeah,
loves Miles.
But we know Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Yeah,
you know, it's been that forever. But I think they have this new chance to introduce Miles as Spider-Man and change the story a little bit, which is what they're doing.
I'm cool with that. Definitely.
You pointed out the animated movie, the game, and now Amy Pascal, which is the head at the studio, she came out and said that there will be a live action Miles Morales. So it's official.
Yeah. I think they're just giving Spider-Man to Miles, and honestly, everybody's on board. So
yeah, well, they're doing it right. My only concern with doing it live action is like maybe that's just me. I'm a little stubborn. Like I like him here in the animated and the video games because it's like you could be really more creative with it and stuff. And I don't know how far you can go with a live action.
Yeah, I don't know how you
Miles.
do this movie live action.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
perfect
do
the way
you-
it is.
When you do the live action, do you start from zero, or do you go
Right.
beyond the Spider-Verse into live action?
I think they'd probably start like in the safe zone, start from scratch
Mm-hmm.
or something.
No,
Or
they can,
they shouldn't, but or they
The third
incorporate-
movie is called Beyond the Spider-Verse.
I think that's just a name.
There, we don't know.
I mean, it wasn't a.
Spot was in Venom's universe. That was cool, by the way. Spot was in Venom's universe.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I
Anyway,
don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
how it goes.
Anyway, close it out, Jeff.
Anyways,
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah,
You
sure.
said our Spider-Man was Tobey Maguire, so it is interesting that this new generation,
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be
I think
whoever the actor is.
my Spider-Man's Andrew Garfield. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess you didn't grow up in the early 2000s.
No.
I guess.
No, I
No,
didn't.
What are you, 14?
I want to be. I don't want to pay bills
Alright,
anymore.
well. Okay, well.
Thanks for
that's
watching,
it.
guys.
Thank you for watching. This is a longer episode, but this movie was so good that there's still things that we would want to say. I would want to say, but we don't have time.
So mad.
You went
But please, if you enjoy this video, just drop a like. Just you know what to do. Why are you waiting for me to tell you?
If
Yeah,
you're
why
still
you asking
here,
me?
subscribe-
Why-
if you're even here. Yeah.
While you're at it, subscribe to
Let
the
him-
channel. There's. Let me finish.
Yeah, let him finish.
If you while you're at it,
Stop,
just
it's
subscribe
you.
to.
Go.
Please
Subscribe
comment,
to
like.
the channel. That's what I'm trying to say. Subscribe to the channel. Apparently George doesn't want you to subscribe,
No, don't.
but
I don't want
subscribe
you
either
to.
way.
Subscribe or don't.
If you don't want to. You know.
Or don't. All right.
Hey,
Well, thank
What's
you
your
guys for
favorite
watching.
Spider-Man movie?
Shut up.
Cut.
And